Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you could join me. And today we are talking about adaptations that I really loved. Let's go. So this is my next video in my series about book adaptations. And I've got some really great adaptations on this list. I'm sure there's so many more that I haven't really touched on at all, but I really felt like I needed to talk about these because they are really near and dear to my heart. So make sure you subscribe and hit the like, get your notifications set up so you don't miss my future content. And let's talk adaptations, okay? The first one that I want to talk about is the Millennium Trilogy by Stieg Larsson. The original movies were made in Swedish, so they're foreign films, and those I think are the best adaptation of the books. The first three books by Stieg Larsson, and each movie adapted one of the books, and so they did the complete trilogy, and I thought it was spectacular. I much prefer the one with subtitles. If you do the dubs, that's great too. But the one with subtitles is just so much better. The American version with Daniel Craig for The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is also a really good movie. So I highly recommend it, and it was a very faithful adaptation, I thought, to the book for the most part. And all of the Swedish movies were also quite faithful adaptations, all things considered. So I highly recommend those. You should really check those out if you've read those books, or even if you haven't read the books. They're just really great movies. So check those out. The next one I have to talk about is Good Omens. I just love me some Crowley and Aziraphale. Just give me more and more. It is just such a fantastic tale. I have watched it twice now. The first time I watched it with my kids. The most recent time was just about a month or so ago. I rewatched it with my daughter. It's one of her favorite TV series of all time, and one of mine too. It is just brilliant. David Tennant and Martin Sheen, and just, oh gosh, they just a fantastic cast, and I just love the story by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett, and the miniseries did a fantastic job of adapting it. And there's a second one coming, and I'm so excited. They're going to do more. So, yeah, I talked about that before already, so I won't go there. But needless to say, it is so much fun. You need to watch Good Omens. The next one I want to talk about is American Gods. Now, this is also based on a Neil Gaiman book. It's not quite as good of an adaptation as as Good Omens was, but it's really good, and it's very entertaining. I really enjoyed the show. It got 3 seasons. I have not watched the 3rd season yet, and unfortunately I did hear that it got canceled, so maybe it'll get picked back up, because I don't think they were finishing it with season 3. I think they still had a ways to go. So not a great adaptation, but the show was a lot of fun, and it ties closely enough to the book that you can still enjoy it as a quality adaptation. So I highly recommend watching American Gods. It is on the Starz Network. Maybe it'll be picked up by somebody else. I hope so, because it's a tale worth telling. It really is. American Gods is not my favorite of Neil Gaiman's books, but it's a great book nonetheless. So, yeah, there we go. The next one is The Witcher. And this is a fun one because I just recently watched the Nightmare of the Wolf animated movie based in the Witcher mythos. And that follows Vesemir, who is Geralt's teacher, if you will. So if you want to check that review out that I did, make sure to stick around to the end of the video, and you'll find it in the cards at the end, and I'll leave it in the description below as well. But I want to talk today about the Witcher TV series with Henry Cavill playing Geralt of Rivia, and just a fantastic ride. I love The Witcher so much. There were parts of it that were not great cinematography wise. That, you know, some of the visuals were just not done quite up to par, but I'm hopeful that with the season 2 that's coming up in December that they've got a little bit more of a budget. But despite some of its flaws, it was a really, really great adaptation. And I highly recommend the Witcher series on Netflix. It is a lot of fun. So, yeah, make sure to watch that. The Princess Bride. It would be inconceivable if I did not mention The Princess Bride in this video. It is one of my favorite adaptations ever. And I have not read the book, of course, but I hope to read the book in the future. But I've watched Princess Bride over and over. I've seen it many times, and I love it every time I watch it. It's just a great, great film. The Bourne Identity and The Bourne Supremacy and The Bourne Ultimatum are excellent, excellent movies. I read The Bourne Identity several years back, a long time back, and I also read part of The Bourne Supremacy. I didn't get but halfway through it before I just DNF'd it and didn't really care much for it. But and the book is very, very different from the movie, but I really feel like I like the movie better anyway. So I'm just gonna stick to being a fan of the movies, and just the Bourne movies are great. I've seen them numerous times, and I just can't get enough of them. So, so good. But if you're a fan of Robert Ludlum and the books, that's great too. You know, the Bourne Identity was fine. It was an okay book, but I thought the movie breathed new life into it. So yeah, there you go. Great, great movies. Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. I love that whole series. I mean, I honestly do. And that is an unpopular opinion, I know, because season 8 really kind of flopped. But all in all, I actually liked it. It wasn't the greatest ending of all, but I actually really enjoyed it and had a lot of fun watching it. I am still going to read the new books when they come out because I want to find out how George ends it. But I would still rewatch Game of Thrones over and over again if I had time to do it. So I love the Game of Thrones series. Another one is It. I have not seen the original TV miniseries of It with Tim Curry in the role of Pennywise, but the new movies are just really, really good. I enjoyed them, and I actually like them better than the book in some respects because I had a hard time getting into the book. I finally completed it, but I probably won't read it again. And the movies were great, so I would love to watch the movies again. The acting was superb and just really great. The next one I want to talk about is the Robert Langdon series by Dan Brown. And the movie adaptations of those books I've really, really enjoyed. Tom Hanks is in the role of Robert Langdon, and they're just phenomenal movies. They made quite a few changes Um, Specifically, the changes that I did not like were in Angels and Demons. They changed the main antagonist from Italian to Scottish, and they in Inferno they completely changed the ending from the book. So I was kind of disappointed by that. But the movies themselves are really, really great. A lot of fun. If you like suspense thrillers, oh, you gotta watch those movies, and you gotta read the books as well. Dan Brown's one of my favorite authors, so just I can't get enough. Just a fantastic series of movies. Um, Lord of the Rings. This goes without saying. I thoroughly enjoyed the Lord of the Rings series. Only only the extended cuts. There is no other cut of those movies that is worth your time. You must watch the extended cuts. But they are the reason that fantasy is so big. I truly believe that in cinema. It all has to do with Lord of the Rings. It all goes back to Lord of the Rings. And I'm so thankful for that. And fantasy cinema owes a lot to that series. Peter Jackson was brilliant at it. He did a good job with The Hobbit as well, although I didn't like The Hobbit as well. It had its flaws and it was way too long, but it was still an entertaining series. But The Lord of the Rings is top notch. I am so thankful that those movies exist. It's a great story. And to see those characters brought to life on the screen is just magnificent. So, another series that I'm really enjoying is His Dark Materials on HBO. This series isn't complete, of course. They've still got the final season coming soon, which is supposed to adapt the Amber Spyglass, from my understanding. The first season adapted The Golden Compass, or as it's known in Great Britain, The Northern Lights. And then the second season, for the most part, adapted the Subtle Knife, and so we should get the Amber Spyglass with season 3. They made some changes. They weren't drastic changes, I didn't think, and I really liked how they've adapted that book series. The book series is phenomenal, so I'm just really excited to see what they do with it and how they finish it out. It is a leagues better than the movie The Golden Compass was when it was released. So such a great TV series, and the books as well. And the final one, last but definitely not least, is Dune. Now, I'm not talking about the new Dune movie by Denis Villeneuve. I'm talking about the original movie from 1984 by David Lynch. And it is not a great adaptation, as adaptations go. If you're looking for a faithful adaptation, that movie is not it. But it is one of the best science fiction films of the 80s, in my personal opinion. I have watched it over and over again, and I love it every single time. If it's possible, I love it even better each time I watch it. And don't look to it for a faithful adaptation, but it is still a quality science fiction film. And that is an unpopular opinion, I know, especially among Dune fans. And I am a huge Dune fan, but I enjoyed the movie nonetheless. So that concludes my favorite adaptations that I have seen and am seeing, and all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Are these some of your favorites too, or did you not like them? Let's talk about it. Let me know in the comments what you think. And I hope that I will see you in future videos. And I also hope that you are reading more books. And while you're at it, why not watch some good fantasy adaptations? I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.